Okay, picture this. You've got a small town, let's call it Smallville. And in this town, a local cafe owner, Isabella, is completely stressing out about a Valentine's Day party she's trying to organize.
Mm,
And then, down the street, you've got Maria, who's working up the courage to ask her crush, Klaus, to be her date for this party.
sounds like pretty standard small-town drama.
Exactly, except for one massive detail.
Go on.
None of these people are actually human.
Right. They're not even characters in a video game being controlled by a person. Isabella, Maria, Klaus. They're all generative AI agents.
Living inside the sandbox world that looks a lot like The Sims. And the wildest part is they're doing all of this stuff completely on their own.
Autonomously, yeah.
So let's really unpack this. We're looking at a huge study, Generative Agents, Interactive Simulacra of Human Behavior. It's from researchers at Stanford and Google.
A landmark paper.
For sure. And our mission today is to figure out how a bunch of code managed to, plan a party, spread news, and even create these little romantic subplots without any human intervention.
It's a huge technological leap. And to get why, you have to look at the architecture. I mean, we all know the big limitation of a standard large language model, right?
The memory, or the lack of it.
Exactly. They've got a fixed context window. It's like a goldfish. Once the conversation scrolls past a certain point, poof, that information is just gone.
So if I'm talking to a regular chatbot, it doesn't have a life. It doesn't remember our last conversation.
Correct. So to make these agents live in Smallville, the researchers had to build a whole memory system around the core model.
And they called that the memory stream.
The memory stream. Yeah. And you can think of it as just this comprehensive database of absolutely everything the agent sees or does.
Like Isabella's setting up pastries.
Or even the stove is burning. But just
Yeah.
having a giant database isn't enough. You can't just feed thousands of memories into the model every time it needs to make a choice.
You'd blow right through the context window.
You would. So they built a smart retrieval system.
Okay, and I was reading about this. It uses 3 factors to decide what to remember, right? Recency, relevance, and
Importance. Precisely. Recency and relevance are pretty standard. But importance. That's the really cool part. They actually get the LLM to score its own memories on a scale of 1 to 10.
So brushing my teeth might be a 1.
But breaking up with my partner gets a 9 or a 10.
But just recalling facts isn't real agency, is it? You need higher level thinking. This is where that reflection mechanism comes in, right? This felt like the secret sauce to me.
It absolutely is. Without reflection, the agent is just reacting. But with it, the system it pauses and asks the model, hey, given these last 100 things you saw, what are a few big takeaways?
So it takes little things, like Klaus reads a sociology book and Klaus reads a paper on demographics, and it synthesizes that.
Right. Into a totally new thought, a new memory, like I am dedicated to my research.
And that gets stored back in the memory stream.
Exactly. And that whole process lets them plan. And we're not talking about simple plans. It's a top-down approach.
So they start broad, like, I need to work today.
And then they break that down recursively into hours and then all the way down to minute-by-minute actions. It's how they stay consistent over time.
Which brings us back to the Valentine's Day party. This was the ultimate test of the whole system.
The big test of what they call emergent behavior. The researchers didn't script the party at all. They just planted one single seed memory.
Just in Isabella's head.
Yeah. The memory was, she wants to host a party at Hobbs Cafe. That's it.
And a whole social cascade just happened from there. Isabella started inviting customers.
And then those customers told other agents. It was totally natural information spread.
Which is how Maria found out.
Exactly. Now, Maria had a seed memory that she had a crush on Klaus. So when she heard about the party, her planning module kicked in, and she decided, all on her own, to ask him to go with her.
And he said yes. They actually went on a date.
They did. And on the day of the party, 5 of the 12 agents who were invited actually showed up at the right time. They even helped decorate. It was real social coordination, born purely from that architecture.
That coordination is it's the killer app here. I mean, it's one thing for agents to plan a party, but think about coordinating actual work, which is actually a perfect time to talk about our sponsor, Embersilk.
It is. If you're listening to this and thinking that this kind of agency could transform your business, well, Embersilk is where you should look. They do everything from AI training to automation and custom software.
They're experts at figuring out where these intelligent agent systems can make the biggest impact for you. You can check them out at embersilk.com. So Connecting this back, this is so much bigger than just making better characters for video games, isn't it?
Oh, way bigger. We're talking about creating social simulacra. It lets us prototype entire social systems.
So you could, what, simulate a big change at a company to see how the news would spread? Or test a social science theory without a massive, expensive study with real people?
Precisely. Or think about training. You could have a simulation where you practice a really difficult conversation, maybe asking for a raise, with an agent that acts realistically and remembers your history.
That's incredible. It's like having believable proxies to practice with, a tool to help us understand our own social worlds better.
It really is. It gives us a way to build empathy and understanding.
You know, it also completely changes the future of storytelling. We started off comparing it to The Sims, but in The Sims, the player is basically God.
Right.
This technology suggests a future where the story is in charge and the characters drive it forward themselves. Imagine a novel where the plot could be different every single time you read it, just based on the agent's choices.
A completely limitless frontier for creativity. It's amazing.
Well, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the lives of the AI residents of Smallville, make sure you subscribe to the Intellectually Curious feed for more deep dives just like this one.
And hey, if you can, leave us a 5-star review. It really, really does help get the word out.
Thanks for tuning in to this deep dive into the wonders of the universe. We'll catch you next time.